Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about and reading through this Freqtrade plugins and see what we can how we can use it to improve our trading performance. Okay, so let me just begin by interpreting what is plugins. So I mean, what is what we need, what problem are we trying to solve here? Okay, so first of all, what we want to do, like if you had heard about watch list, okay, so watch list is basically like you gotta actually we don't want to trade like a random pairs, okay, any random pairs. We don't want to do that, okay, because there are a lot of shit coin out there, okay, like getting every day. So we want to filter out those uh, coins which we don't want to trade, as well as we also want to and like look for those coin pairs specifically which have more opportunity to find trades. So what we can, for instance, we can do like age filter where we will like select coin pairs going back, like if they have been in the exchange for more than 30 days. Then precision filter, if we'll actually read about that later. Okay, so we have then price filter, we have then shuffle filter, right, and then we have spread filter and also volatility filter. Okay, so now let's just go through and read it. Okay, so pair lists and pair list handlers. Pair list handlers define the list of pairs or pair lists that the bot should trade. Okay, they are configured in the pair list section of the configuration settings. All right, now in your configuration you can use static pair list defined by static pair list handler, and dynamic pair list which is defined by volume pair list handler. Okay, now additionally we can use additionally, age filter, precision filter, price filter, shuffle filter, spread filter, and volatility filter act as pair list filters, removing certain pairs and or moving their positions in the pair list. If multiple pair list handlers are used, they are chained, and a combination of all pair list handlers forms the resulting pair list the bot uses for trading and backtesting. Alright. Now pair list handlers are executed in the sequence they are configured. You should always configure either static pair list or volume pair list as the starting pair list handler. Okay. Now inactive markets are always removed from the resulting pair list. Explicitly blacklisted pairs, those in the pair blacklist configuration setting, are also always removed from the resulting pair list. Okay, so some blacklisted pair that we don't want to trade, we just add it to our pair blacklist. Okay, now the pair blacklist is the pair blacklist configured via exchange, or pair blacklist is the in the configuration disallows certain pairs from trading. This can be as simple as excluding Doge BTC, which will remove exactly this pair. Okay, now the pair blacklist does also support wildcards in regex style. So BNB dot everything will exclude all pairs that start with BNB. You may also use something like dot star down slash BTC or dot star up slash BTC to exclude leverage tokens. Check pair naming conventions for your exchange. Okay, so we can so these are leverage tokens. All right, down, up. Okay, so what we can do is we can just do some regular expression here, USDT, so it will filter out all these up or down pair. Okay, because the leverage tokens are not that much stable. Okay, so it will filter out like BTC. We have BTC down, USDT, right? So it will not trade this pair. Okay, and same goes for other Ethereum and other leverage tokens. All right, so that's why it is very important that you have certain coin pairs in your pair list as well. okay, uh, in your black pair list, because we want to filter all those shit coin out there. Okay, now we have available pair list handlers is, we have static pair list which is default if not configured directly, and then we have volume pair list, and then we have age filter, then we have offset filter, then we have performance filter and precision filter, and then price filter, shuffle filter, spread filter, range stability filter, and volatility filter. Okay, so we go ahead and see what it says. So testing pair list. Pair list configurations can be quite tricky to get right. Okay, best use the test pair list utility subcommands to test your configuration quickly. Okay, so yeah, this will be helpful for after building our pair list, we can test our pair list configurations. Okay, so that will be quite useful. Now we have static pair list. So first in the list, now by default the static pair list method is used, which uses a statically defined pair whitelist from the configuration. The pair list also supports wildcards in regex style. So dot everything BTC will include all pairs with BTC as a stake. It uses configuration from exchange.pair whitelist and exchange.pair blacklist. Okay, all right, so um, it will basically get all the pair which ends with BTC and which are in pair whitelist and not in blacklist. Okay, and if it is in pair whitelist and it is on white blacklist, then it will remove that pair. Okay, so yeah, now we have this pair list which is method static pair list. Okay, now by default only currently enabled pairs are allowed. Okay, to skip pair validation against active markets, set allow inactive true within the static pair list configuration. This can be useful for backtesting expired pairs like quarterly spot markets. This option must be configured along with exchange.skip pair validation in the exchange configuration. Yeah, so I had this problem. All right, so this is like good for me to know that I can like allow inactive pairs. So we can actually put to this set this to false here, and because we don't want to be trading a pair which has expired, like quarterly spot markets and on. Okay, so when used in a follow-up position, that is after volume pair list, all pairs in pair whitelist will be added to the end of the pair list. Okay, so when used in follow-up position, that is volume pair list, all pairs in pair whitelist will be added to the end of the pair list. Okay, so like it goes sequence wise. Okay, we have certain filter here, 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 and then we go on this hierarchy, and then it will output a certain pair list which we are interested to trade. Okay, and that's what we want to do. Now volume pair list. So what does volume pair list employs? Sorting, filtering of pairs by their trading volume. It selects number assets, top pairs with sorting based on the sort key, which can also be quote volume. Okay, now when used in the chain of pair list handlers in a non-leading position, after static pair list and other pair list filters, volume pair list considers outputs of previous pair list handlers, adding its sorting selection of the pairs by the trading volume. Okay, so it's same. It's the same that I was talking. What I was talking about, like this, filtering hierarchically. Okay, going downwards in the hierarchy and filtering. You know, the next stage input will be the output of the previous stage, and the next stage of input will be the output of the previous stage, and those previous stages are filters. Okay, and it can be any filters, like volume filter. We can short it by most traded volume, and then suppose we have 100 pairs in our whitelist, and then we get only like quote volume should be greater than equals to 50k or something, so we'll filter if the volume is greater than 50k, so out of 100 we might get 50, and then after this we'll apply some filter, then we will after this we'll apply some filter, and eventually we'll come down to around 10 to 20, which is a lot easier to trade. Okay, so that's what we are doing here with plugins and filters here. All right, so yeah, I think volume pair list is very important, so let's look at, okay, quite rigorously here. Okay, so when used in chain of pair list handlers in a non-leading position after static pair list and other pair list filters, volume pair list considers output of previous pair list handlers, adding its sorting selection of the pairs by the trading volume. Okay, now when used in the leading position of the chain of pair list handlers, the pair whitelist configuration setting is ignored. Okay, instead volume pair list select the top assets from all available markets with matching stake currency on the exchange. So here is saying when used in a leading position of the chain of pair list handlers. So suppose we have static pair list, and then we have volume pair list, and then we have other pair list. So their sequence does matter. If we put volume pair list, it will get all the pairs available in market and select those pairs, and it will ignore the static pair, and then so it goes like in a sequence. Okay, so we gotta watch out for that. All right, now the refresh period setting allows to define the period in seconds at which the pair list will be refreshed, defaults to 1800 second, which is 30 minutes. The pair list cache, which is refresh period on volume pair list, is only applicable to generating pair lists. Filtering instances not the first position in the list will not apply any cache and will always use up-to-date data. Okay, so what it's saying here is that we have a refresh period here for 30 minutes, default to 30 minutes. We can set it to 1 hour, 2 hour, even 15 minutes as well. So yeah, we gotta do that. Okay, because volume comes in time as well. So yeah. All right, now we have volume pair list is per default based on the ticker data from exchange as reported by the CCXT library. The quote volume is the amount of quote stake currency traded, bought or sold in last 24 hours. Okay, so this is our quote volume. Okay, so now in pair list what we can define is, we say method is volume pair list, and number assets are, we want to get 20 assets. We want to sort it by quote volume, and quote volume is the amount of quote or stake currency traded, bought or sold in last 24 hours. So as we have daily volume right here, something like this, and as we are, suppose we are at this stage. Okay, it is now we will get all these volume and see that this will have, for other coin pairs this will differ, you know quite not randomly, but still, like in cryptocurrency there are a lot correlation between the Bitcoin, Ethereum, the major high cap coins. um, so it looks for quote volume. Okay, now the mean value is 0 and the refresh period is 1800 seconds, okay, which is 30 minutes. Now you can define a minimum volume with mean value which will filter out pairs with a volume lower than the specified value in the specified time range. Okay, so it's basically like if we set like earlier I talked about 15K, right? So it will, this will be a minimum value for our quote volume. Okay, so volume less than this will be filtered out and volume greater than this will be available for trading. Okay, now what we have is um, you can define a minimum volume with minimum value which will filter out pairs with a volume lower than a specified value in a specified time range. Oh yeah, so it's a second, I mean that refresh period. Okay, now we have volume pair list advanced mode. What we can do with advanced mode is volume pair list can also operate in an advanced mode to build volume over a given time range of specified candle size. It utilizes exchange historical candle data, builds a typical price calculated by open high low by 3 and multiplies the typical price with every candle's volume. The sum is the quote volume over the given range. So this is our volume VWAP. Okay, volume weighted average price. Okay, VWAP, and that's where the market, like you can like think of this as a stations in the market where the market train stops there and load up passengers, and then it goes off. It's a good analogy. So actually it makes things simple. All right, so yeah, so like market is going like this. You have this train station which is this VWAP, and then you have this another VWAP here, and then you have this another VWAP here. So market does tend to stop at this point and go here, something like this. Okay, so yeah, now the sum is the quote volume over the given range. This allows different scenarios for a more smoothened volume when using longer ranges with larger candle sizes, or the opposite when using the short range with small candles, right? So for convenience, look back days can be specified, which will imply that 1 day candles will be used for the look back. Okay, in the example below, the pair list would be created based on the last 7 days. Okay, so look back days is 7 days, and we want to get 20 assets. Refresh period is this much time, minimum value is this, and we want to filter it with quote volume. Method is our volume pair list. So it is basically getting this HLC3, so which is this open high low. So yeah, we don't have close, right? So yeah, we can do like open plus high plus close by 3 and multiply it by quote volume, and this will give us that context to our price, like uh, which are the most traded area in the volume, and there it filters out depending on that. Okay, so that's our advanced volume mode. Okay, now here what we have a note here: range, look back and refresh period. When used in conjunction with look back days here and look back time frame, okay, the refresh period cannot be smaller than the candle size in seconds. Okay, as this will result in unnecessary requests to the exchange's API. So what it's saying is that when used in conjunction with look back days and look back time frame, okay, look back time frame, The refresh period cannot be smaller than the candle size in seconds. Okay, we gotta increase the refresh period time so that we don't, uh, send requests to the exchange again and again and again and again, right? So it would be like we can do for 1 hour. See, look back time frame 1 hour, refresh period 3600. So it's like 1 hour. Okay, so we are basically filtering every 1 hour. Okay, so that's what it's saying. Performance implications when using lookback range. If used in first position in combination with lookback, the computation of the range-based volume can be time and resource consuming, as it downloads candles for all tradable pairs. Hence, it's highly advised to use the standard approach with volume filter, okay, to narrow the pair list down for further range volume calculation. Okay, yeah, so that's very important for performance reasons. Now, what we have is unsupported exchanges, Bittrex and Gemini. More sophisticated approach can be used by using lookback time frame for candle size and lookback period, which specifies the amount of candles. This example will build the volume pairs based on a rolling period of 3 days of 1 hour candles. Okay, so here we have volume pair list, number of assets 20, sort P or port volume, minimum value 0, refresh period 1 hour 3600, right, seconds, and then we have look back time frame 1 hour, look back period 72. So it is like 24 into 3 would be 73, 72, right? And so it is basically saying is that this example will build the volume pairs based on a rolling period of 3 days of 1 hour candle. Okay, so yeah, it will be like it will use 1 hour candle, open, high and low by 3, and it will multiply it by code volume, and and it will do this for last 3 days rolling, and it will take the I think average, or okay, yeah, rolling period, right, 3 days. So it will take the, I think, average volume, yeah, right. So yeah, because that's what we are doing here, we are averaging down this volume to a certain level, and that's how we calculate it. Okay, and rolling it with 3 days, 72 period, 72 candles, it makes sense. Okay, now we have note here that volume pair list does not support backtesting mode. Yeah, okay, and then we have age filter. Now removes pairs. Age filter removes pairs that have been listed on the exchange for less than minimum days listed. Days default to 10 or more than maximum days listed days. Defaults none, meaning infinity. Okay, when pairs are first listed on an exchange, they can suffer huge price drops and volatility in the first few days. While the pair goes through its price discovery period, bots can often be caught out by buying before the pair has finished dropping in price. This filter allows Freqtrade to ignore pairs until they have been listed for at least minimum days listed days and listed before maximum days listed. Okay, so we can specify minimum days listed as like 30 days, okay, because we don't want to be trading a new coin pair. Okay, then we have offset filter, which offsets an incoming pair list by a given offset value. And as an example, it can be used in conjunction with volume filter to remove the top X volume pairs, or to split a larger pair list on two watt instances. Okay. So for example, to remove the first 10 pairs from the pair list and takes the next 20, taking items 10 and 30 of the initial list, we can do method offset filter, offset to 10 and number of assets 20. So if we have 10 30 pair list, we can offset it to like we want the next 20 volume coin pair and we offset it by 10. So 30 minus 10 would be 20, right? So that's what this offset filter means, and it might be useful. So here we have warning. Here let's see. Here we have warning saying that when offset filter is used to split a larger pair list among multiple bots in combination with volume filter, it cannot be guaranteed that pairs won't overlap due to slightly different refresh intervals for the volume filter. Okay, so it's quite tricky to see like there will be overlap basically, okay, of coin pairs. All right, now that an offset larger than the total length of the incoming pair list will result in an empty pair list. Okay, so if you want, if we have 30 pair list and if we are like passing the offset of 45, so it will return an empty pair list. That's what it's saying. Okay, now we have performance filter, and what it means, what it does is that performance filter sorts pairs by past trade performance as follows. It looks for positive performance, it looks for no closed trades yet, and it also looks for negative performance. So this is very important. All right, this is very important. Now the trade count is used as a tiebreaker. You can use the minutes parameter to only consider performance of the past X minutes rolling window. Not defining this parameter or setting it to 0 will use all time performance. Okay, so what it means is that we can, if we have 100 coin pairs and we want to only trade pairs which are performing well, only trade coin pairs which are performing well, right? So we can we can go to 1 hour performance and look for all these coin pair. Then we can see like out of which 30 of them were good performing, so we will only trade this one. Okay, now the optimal minimum profit, so that's what this means. Going back to this rolling window concept of minutes, so if we put 60 minutes, it will look for last hour which was the performance, like best performing coin pairs, and basically use that to filter out the best performing coin pair, and that what will be trading. Okay, so we are looking at performance filter. Right now, the optional min profit as ratio, a setting of 0.01 corresponds to 1% parameter defines the minimum profit a pair must have to be considered. Okay. Pairs below this level will be filtered out using this parameter. Without minutes is highly discouraged, okay, as it can lead to an empty pair list without a way to recover. So this is an example of performance filter. So what we're doing here is we are defining the method with as performance filter, and then minutes is like rolling 24 hours, and then minimum profit is 1%. So we want to select all the coin pairs for which the minimum profit is 1%, and that's what we want to trade for the day. Okay, that's the performance filter. And now let's look at, as this filter uses past performance of the bot, it will have some startup period and should only be used after the bot has a few hundred trades in a database. Okay, so yeah, it's already implemented on into performance filter. All right, so we need some trades to in order to recognize that, yeah, in order to filter the pair list for from the as a profit performance filter. Okay, now we have backtesting mode, which is performance filter does not support backtesting mode. All right, now we have precision filter. All right, filters low value coins which would not allow setting stop losses. So Here's a note that says precision filter does not support backtesting mode using multiple strategies. Okay. Now we have price filter. The price filter allows filtering of price by pairs by price. Currently, the following price filters are supported, which is min price, maximum value, and low price ratio. The min price setting removes pairs where the price is below the specified price. This is useful if you wish to avoid trading very low priced pairs. This option is disabled by default and will only apply if set to greater than 0. The max price setting removes pairs where the price is above the specified price. This is useful if you wish to trade only low priced pairs. This option is disabled by default and will only apply if set to 0, greater than 0. The max value setting removes pairs where the minimum value change is above a specified value. This is useful when an exchange has unbalanced limits. Okay, so the max value setting removes pairs where the minimum value change is above a specified value. Okay, this is useful when a exchange has unbalanced limits. For example, if step size is 1, so you can only buy 1 or 2 or 3 but not 1.1 coins, and the price is pretty high like $20, as the coin has risen sharply since the last limited option. As a result of the above, you can only buy for $20 or $40 but not for $25. On exchanges that deducts fees from the receiving currency, that is like FTX, this can result in high value coins or amounts that are unsellable as the amount is slightly below the limit. Okay, that's quite useful. Now we have the low price ratio setting removes pairs where a rise of one price unit, one pip, is above the low price ratio. This option is disabled by default and will only apply if set to greater than 0. For price filter, at least one of its minimum price, max price, or low price ratio settings must be applied. Calculation example is min price precision for shitcoin BTC is 8 decimals. If its price is this much and one price step above would be this, which is 9% higher than the previous price value, you may filter out this pair by using price filter with low price ratio set to 0.09 or with min price set to this one. Okay, correspondingly, so we are like mostly interested in ratio. Okay, so low price ratio, which is 0.0609, and yeah, so it will filter out these shit coins. Okay, now low price pairs with high one peak movements are dangerous since they are often illiquid, and it may also be impossible to place the desired stop loss, which can often result in high losses since price needs to be rounded to the next tradable price. So instead of having a stop loss of minus 5%, you could end up with a stop loss of minus 9% simply due to price rounding. So this is very important, and to filter out shitcoin, because it is not that much tradable. Okay, and we should ignore them basically. I mean, not to say that we shouldn't be trade them when liquidity comes, but when they are illiquid, then we don't want to trade that. Okay, so because see that like we were supposed to get 5% loss, but we are getting 9% because of the price difference. So yeah, that's why. All right, now we have shuffle filter here. So which shuffles randomizes pairs in the pair list. It can be used for preventing the bot from trading some of the pairs more frequently than others when you want all pairs to be treated with the same priority, right? So this is quite important. Now the tip here is that you may set the seed value for this pair list to obtain reproducible results, which can be useful for repeated backtesting sessions. If seed is not set, the pairs are shuffled in the non-repeatable random order. Shuffle filter will automatically detect run modes and apply the seed only for backtesting modes if a seed value is set. Okay, so if we set seed value to 42, and after after 2 days we apply the seed value as again 42, it will like do that not that much randomly, but um, it will basically get the same pair again and again, so that we can do back testing properly, right? Yeah, but not setting the seed is a good idea, I think. Okay, for giving all coin pairs the same priority, which is quite important as well. Now we have spread filter, which removes pairs that have a difference between asks and bids above the specified ratio, where the max spread ratio defaults to 0.05. Example is, if those BTC maximum bid is this much and minimum ask is this, the ratio is calculated as 1 minus bid by ask, okay, which is 0.037, which is greater than 0.05, and this pair will be filtered out. So what it means is that see, like, here are some buyers and here are some sellers. Okay, buyers gonna bid and sellers gonna ask for higher prices. Okay, and if we have this spread a lot, more and more spread, then we will be getting, like, if we had market orders, right, we will be getting filled with more price here, right, more spread here, which is something we don't want. All right, we want like liquidity in the market with less price spread, okay, so that we can filter, we can enter at the the desired price. Okay, so it is very important that we have a spread filter to filter out those sit coins where they are not liquidity present in the market. Okay, now we have range stability filter, which removes pairs where the difference between lowest low and highest high over look back days is below minimum rate of change or above maximum rate of change. Since this is a filter that requires additional data, the results are cached for refreshed period. Now, in the below example, if the trading range over the last 10 days is less than 1% or greater than 99%, remove the pair from the whitelist. So, this is basically an overbought or oversold condition, and and non-trading as well. So in Vico price cycle, what we have is, see here, this is our phase 1, this is phase 2, phase 3, and this is phase 4. So this is accumulation, this is markup phase, this is distribution, and this is markdown phase. All right, now what we are saying here is that if market is accumulating or something, we don't want to be trading in this range. Okay, when the market broke out this level making minimum 1% change, then we want to like be active in the market. Okay, so that we have this trending environment here. If like last so here look back days is 10, but we can set it to look back time period as well. I think look back time frame is there, so 1 hour or something, and we can say if like market is changing or not, and then we can enter on the trending environment. So we have this non-trending environment, and then we have trending environment. Okay, so that's what here we want to trade. Okay, trending environment, and also non-trending environment if the percentage change from this swing high to swing low is greater than 1%. Okay, so that's what we want to do, so that we can range bound to like buy here, sell here, short here, buy here again, sell here, so that right we can compound to our profit here. All right, so that's what we're going to do, and let's look at the how we can configure it. We have method range stability filter. We have look back days as 10, minimum rate of change 1%, maximum rate of change 99%, and we have refresh period as 1 day. Okay, so yeah. Now the tip here is that this filter can be used to automatically remove stable coin pairs which have a very low trading range and are therefore extremely difficult to trade with profit. Additionally, it can also be used to automatically remove pairs with extreme high or low variance over a given amount of time. Okay, so it's basically like it's some sort of volatility filter. All right, we want to be active in the more volatile market, and that's what it does. Okay, now we have volatility filter. See, volatility filter. Now the volatility is the degree of historical variation of a pair over time. Okay, so volatility is the degree of historical variation of pairs over time. It is measured by the standard deviation of logarithmic daily returns. Returns are assumed to be normally distributed, although actual distribution might be different. In a normal distribution, 68% of observations fall within one standard deviation and 95% of observations fall within two standard deviations. Okay, so we have this distribution over here, right? And this is our mean, right? Now, what it's saying is that this area is 68%. So 68% of this, volatility will fall within this, and then 95% of this will fall within uh, this here over here. All right. So this is our standard deviation 1 sigma. This is 2 sigma. This is minus 1 sigma. This is minus 2 sigma, and then we go on here. Okay. 95, and then see, it basically the height decreases. So yeah, less and less distribution around here, and more and more distribution around the mean. Okay, so that's what it does. It basically calculates it on logarithmic deletions, and it assumes that the returns are normally distributed, although the actual distribution is different in real world. All right. Now, in a normal distribution, 68% of observations fall within one standard deviation, 95% of observations fall within two standard deviation, right? Assuming a volatility of 0.05 means that the expected returns for 20 out of 30 days is expected to be less than 5%. All right. So that's what it says, and which is one standard deviation. So volatility is a positive ratio of the expected deviation of return and can be greater than 1. Okay, now please refer to the Wikipedia definition of volatility. So like, we want to understand this, what they are saying here. Okay, assuming a volatility of 0.05 means that the expected returns for 20 out of 30 days is expected to be less than 5%, right? So if we have this number, okay, so what we can say is that out of 30 days, you know the expected return around 20 days is 5%. Okay, yeah, I think that's what I understand here. That is one standard deviation. Okay, which falls within 68% of the time. Okay, now what we have is this filter removes pairs if the average volatility over a look back period days is below minimum volatility or above maximum volatility. Since this is a filter that requires additional data, the results are cached for refresh period. This filter can be used to narrow down your pairs to a certain volatility or avoid very volatile pairs. Okay, see, this is very important. All right, this filter can be used to narrow down your pairs to a certain volatility or avoid very volatile pairs. So like, we wanna, there's sweet spot in the market. Okay, uh, so what I mean by this is that, see, suppose this is our, market is going this, then, going this for a couple of days here, and then, suddenly drops up. Okay, we see this in the market, and then, goes this range bound something, then again drops below, and then builds up here, and then goes. So here, see, volatility was increasing here. Okay, now here it was not that volatile. All right, so we won't be trading this in this area. Now here it's volatile, so we'll be trading in this area. Now here, see, it is volatile, and we can, like, do some range bound trading here. So this is also the area to be trading here. Okay, now here this is also the area, this is not the area to be trading, and this is the area to be trading. So that's what it does, volatility filters, that's what it filters you. This basically provides you the sweet spot in the market where you can, let your bot loose, and it is expected to make more, it is expected the performance will increase over time. Okay, so that's what it means. All right, now what we have is minimum volatility set as 5%, and then maximum volatility set as 0.50, which is like average over 10 days, year look back days. All right, so now we have full example of a pair list handlers. Okay, the below example blacklist BNB BTC uses volume pair list with 20 assets, sorting pairs by quote volume, and applies precision filter and price filter, filtering all assets where one price unit is greater than 1%. Then the spread filter and volatility filter is applied, and pairs are finally shuffled with the random seed set to some predefined value. Okay, so we have all these example over here, and let me just go through each by each. Okay, we have exchange pair whitelist set to empty, so we are using volume pair list. All right, it is dynamic pair list. Now we have blacklisted BNB BTC. So first filter in our pair list filters is volume pair list, which is, we are saying it to get us 20 volume pair list, 20 coin pairs, and sorted by quote volume. Now the next pair list is that coin pair list is that age filter. We wanna trade only those coin pairs for which have listed more than like 10 days. Okay, then we have precision filter, then we have price filter where the ratio is 1%. Okay, 0.01. Okay, ratio between high and low should be greater than 0.01. Okay, now the spread filter is this much. This is also the same thing, but it is defined as maximum. It is set for price. Now it is set for spread. Okay, this is calculated in percentage. Now we have method range stability filter, which goes for 10 days. Okay, so now we are looking at range stability filter, look back days 10, and then minimum rate of change is 0.01. Okay, and refresh period is 1 day. Okay, we want to see at least 1% change in the market, then otherwise we won't trade that coin pair. Okay, then we have volatility filter, which is in my perspective very important. Okay, so we have look back days 10, minimum volatility set to 0.05, and maximum volatility set to 0.5, and refresh period is this much. Okay, now we have shuffle filter for which the seed is 42. So that's it for the pair list filters, and now let's move on to the protections. What protections we have here, because I think it's very important too. So protections, it is a beta feature. This feature is still in its testing phase. Should you notice something you think is wrong, please let us know via Discord or via GitHub issue. Yeah. All right. Now we have protections. These protections will protect your strategy from unexpected events and market conditions by temporarily stop trading for either one pair or for all pairs. All protection end times are rounded up to the next candle to avoid sudden unexpected intra candle buys. Okay, so this is, I mean, this is the sort of backbone of good trading system. All right, you must have protection, right? You must have some ability to stop your bot or trade stop trading when certain market condition doesn't met. All right, so let's go ahead and see. Here's the note that says not all protections will work for all strategies and parameters will need to be tuned for your strategy to improve performance. Okay, that's good. Tip is that each protection can be configured multiple times with different parameters to allow different levels of protection, short-term protection and even long-term protection. All right. Now in backtesting, so protections are supported by backtesting and hyperopt, but must be explicitly enabled by using enable protections flag. So if you are like backtesting with like Freqtrade backtesting, you got to enable this flag. Okay, enable protections, then it will use all those protection you will define. Okay, so and you can define different levels of protection for short term and long term trading. Okay, so now here's the note here is that setting protections from the configuration via protections, this he should be considered deprecated and will be removed in the future version. It is also no longer guaranteed that your protections apply to the strategy in cases where the strategy defines protections as property. Okay, so let's move on and let's see. So we have available protections here, which is stop loss guard. uh, what it does is that it stops trading if a certain amount of stop loss occurred within a certain time window. So suppose we are using 1 hour trading and we go back, like this is our window uh, of 10 last 10 candles, 10 hour, and if we had encountered two, if for certain coin pair, if it has hit two stop losses, we would stop that coin pair from trading. Okay, that is quite important. Okay, now we have max drawdown here, which says that it stops trading if maximum drawdown is reached. So if we have $5,000 account here, okay, we can set the maximum drawdown to be $500. Okay, and if it raised $500 drawdown, then it will stop the bot and it won't like trade. Okay, and it will again start next day. Okay, so it basically a protection for our equity. Now we have low profit pairs, which basically lock pairs with low profits. Okay, which is also very important. And then we have cool down period, which is we don't enter a trade right after selling a trade. Okay, so this is also a good protection to have. Now what we have is that common settings to all protections, parameter and description, method, protection name to be used. We have this available protections here, right? Stop loss guard, either stop loss guard, either maximum drawdown, either low profit pairs, either cool down period. Okay, now we have stop duration candles, which says that for how many candles should the lock be set. Okay, so how many candles in the future the locks should be set. If we are setting the lock here, we want to set it for next 20 bars or 30 bars or 50 bars, we got to choose that. Okay, um, then we have stop duration, in how many minutes should protections be locked, cannot be used together with the stop duration candles. So either either this or either this, and I think we should go with this stop duration, like stop for 1 hour, stop for 2 hour trading and all, right? So this is how it is. And then we have look back period candles, on which only trades that completed within the last look back period candles will be considered, okay? And this setting may be ignored by some protections. Look back period, only trades that completed after current time minus look back period will be considered and cannot be used together with look back period candles. So what it means is that uh, suppose we are at here, okay, and going back here, if we took two losses and this time period is 10, look back period 10, okay. So this is, and this is same, so if we say 10 candles, so it will look for that. If back in 10 candles, if last 10 candles till last 10 candles, if we saw these two losses, we won't be trading that coin pair, okay. So that's what it's saying. And then trade limit is that number of trades required at minimum, not used by all protections, okay. So let's go on. So it is trade limit, whether we wanna like enter for particular pairs per day 5 trades can be considered or 10 trades can be considered. We don't want to enter, indefinitely, okay. So duration is that durations, stop duration and look back period can be defined in either minutes or candles. For more flexibility when testing different time frames, all below examples will use the candle definition. All right, so candle is important, all right, because right, see, if you have this candlesticks, right, you can go back this candle and that's how you look at, right? Don't say it like 1 hour, 2 hours something, but it is important, you can say it, but when you're testing multiple time frames, it will by default use the candle calculation and that's it, right? So it is already built into it. Now we have stop loss guard. Okay, what did I do there? Okay, now we have stop loss guard here, which stop loss guard selects all trades within look back period in minutes or in candles when using look back period candles. If trade limit or more trades resulted in stop loss, trading will stop for stop duration in minutes or in candles when using stop duration candles, okay. Now this applies across all pairs unless only per pair is set to true, which will then only look at one pair at a time. Now, similarly, this protection will by default look at all trades, long and short. For future spots, setting only per side will make the bot only consider one side and will then only lock this one side, allowing, for example, shorts to continue after a series of long stop losses. Yeah, this is the very important, man. Like, yeah, this is very important. You know, I mean, what I have found out is that you can have a good strategy, but if you don't have this, this clever way of, not trading, basically the part of trading is also to identify where not to trade, all right. And these protections allows us to, pinpoint or basically in a statistical manner, because this systems improves over time and we can also optimize our protections as well. So it basically trades on those level where the money are, where the smart money are, okay. All right, so yeah, let's move on. Now, required profit will determine the required relative profit or loss for stop losses to consider. This should normally not be set and defaults to 0, which means all losing stop losses will be triggering a block. Okay, so this will not be set. So the below example stops trading for all pairs for 4 candles after the last trade if the bot hit stop loss 4 times within the last 24 candles. Okay, so what we are doing here is that, see, we are using a stop loss method and we are looking back 24 candles. We are saying trade limit 4 and stop duration candles 4. Okay, so if we saw that 4 consecutive trades were losses, were getting stop losses, then we stop that trade for 4 candles and required profit is 0. Okay, that's good. Then we have only per pair set to false and only per side set to false, because we want to do it for all long and short, and we want to do it for all pairs. All right, all coin pairs. All right, so it is very important, and we can also, like, tweak these parameters over here by hyper optimization, hyperopt here. All right, so yeah, let's move on and see. Now here's the note that says that stop loss guard considers all trades with the results stop loss and stop loss on exchange and trailing stop loss. If the resulting profit was negative, trade limit and look back period will need to be tuned for your strategy. So that's what it is saying, that you gotta tune it by hyper optimization to adapt to our system. Now we have maximum drawdown protection. So maximum drawdown uses all trades within look back period in minutes or in candles when using look back period candles to determine the maximum drawdown. If the drawdown is below maximum allowed drawdown, trading will stop for stop duration in minutes or in candles when using stop duration candles. Okay, after the last trade, assuming that the bot needs some time to let markets recover. Okay, so if we have the $5,000 account and we set the maximum drawdown to 10%, right? And what will be the 10% of this? 0.1, right? So it will be $500. So $500 will be our maximum drawdown. And if we hit this drawdown, we will stop the trading for next 12 candles, and we can also set the time period for, like, we can stop trading for 1 day or something, right? So we can do that as well very easily by setting these parameters, and we can also tune these parameters by hyper optimization, so it's easy. All right, now yeah, so that we can let the market recover, gain its strength, and then we enter the market. All right, so the below sample stops trading for 12 candles if maximum drawdown is minus 20% here. Now considering all pairs with a minimum of trade limit trades within the last 48 candles, if desired, look back period and or stop duration can be used. Okay, yeah, stop duration candles. All right, so we are stopping the trade for next 12 candles. Okay, now we have low profit pairs protection, where the low profit pairs uses all trades for a pair within look back period in minutes or in candles when using look back period candles to determine the overall profit ratio. If that ratio is below required profit, that pair will be locked for stop duration in minutes or in candles when using stop duration candles. All right, now for future bots, setting only per side will make the bot only consider one side and will then only lock this one side, allowing, for example, shorts to continue after a series of long losses. Okay, the below example will stop trading a pair for 60 minutes if the pair does not have a required profit of 2% and a minimum of 2 trades within the last 6 candles. Okay, so this is very important, and I can't emphasize how important it is that, like, you can filter low profit pairs this easily. Okay, we can set method low profit pairs look back period candle 6 trade limit 2 if the last 6 candles, if it doesn't have 2 trade, then we exclude that low profit pair, that pair, and the stop duration, stop it for next 60 minutes, and required profit is 2%, must be 2%, and only pair is false. Okay, so we are looking for all pair. And only we can also set only per side to true. So here it said for futures bots, setting only per side will make the bot only consider one side. Okay, and will then only lock this one side, allowing for example shorts to continue after a series of long losses. So if we see series of long losses, like all right, less than 2% profit, then we stop for 60 minutes and then we enter short only. All right, so that's what we do. Okay, so that's what it's doing, and it's very important. Let me just emphasize again, like this is very important. All right, low profit pairs. All right, now we looked at stop loss guard, max stop drawdown, low profit pairs. Now let's look at cool down period. Okay, so cool down period, it says that cool down period locks a pair for stop duration in minutes or in candles when using stop duration candles. After selling, avoiding a re-entry for this pair for stop duration minutes. The below example will stop trading a pair for 2 candles after closing a trade, allowing this pair to cool down. Okay, so this is also important. What it does is that it stops the trading for next 2 candles. So suppose market is here and we entered long here, right, and we took the profit here. Now if again long signal comes, we won't be entering that trade for the next 2 candles. Let it settle down here and then we'll enter long, because market tends to go up, then retrace back, then go up, then retrace back, then go up. So making this higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high, and then this accumulation happens where we apply our this plugins for volatility indication, and then it goes down, making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, and that's what we do. This is our markup phase. This is our distribution here. This can be accumulation, reaccumulation as well. This was our accumulation here. All right, and this is our markdown phase going down here. So we want to be trading in this phase, stop our trading here and then continue trading here, and that's what we want to do, and then again stop trading at reaccumulation phase here. Okay, so that's very useful. And now let's look at the note here. So here we have note, this protection applies only at per pair level and will never lock all pairs globally. This protection does not consider look back period, as it only looks at the latest trade. Okay, so that's also important. That's a good note. Now let's see. Okay, now we have full example of protections here. All protections can be combined at will, also with different parameters, creating an increasing wall for underperforming pairs. All protections are evaluated in the sequence they are defined. Okay, so let's see. The below example assumes a time frame of 1 hour. So what we are doing here is that we wanna lock it. It locks each pair after selling for an additional 5 candles, which is our cool down period, giving other pairs a chance to get filled. Okay, now second it does is that it stops trading for 4 hours. Okay, here, which is 4 into 1 hour candles. If the last 2 days 48 into 1 hour candles here had 20 trades which caused a maximum drawdown of more than 20%, right, then it will stop trading. Okay, and then for 4 hours. Okay, now stop trading if more than 4 stop loss occur for all pairs within a 1 day, which is 24 into 1 hour candles, 1 hour candles limit stop loss guard. Okay, so we are looking at here. Okay, stops trading if more than 4 stop losses occur for all pairs within 1 day. Okay, here limit stop loss guard. Okay, so stop loss guard is here. Look back period is 24 candles, which is 1 day, and then trade limit is 4, and then stop duration is 2, and only per pair is false. Okay, now we go back. Now we go ahead with lock pairs, low profit pairs, which actually locks all pairs that had 4 trades within the last 6 hours with a combined profit ratio of below 2% here. Okay, now we go ahead, and this low profit pairs, it locks all pairs for 2 candles that had a profit of below 0.01, which is 1% within the last 24 hours, a minimum of 4 trades. Okay, so that's a good protection there, and that's it, right? So that's it for this video, guys, and let me know what you guys think. And yeah, okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.